Hello and welcome back to Mountain Patriot Homestead. If you have not visited with us before, welcome, and if you are returning, welcome back. Well, I do not have any type of a script, a plan, a list of what I wanted to talk about today, but I knew I wanted to get on here and visit with y'all for a spell and just talk about what comes to mind. Well, the first thing that comes to mind today, I'll just get this out of the way because everywhere I go and everybody that I've talked to for the last couple of weeks anyway, has been the weather. It is hot, and there may be somebody somewhere, maybe sitting in the North Pole or somewhere, Australia maybe, that where it is not hot right now, but here in the central U.S. And down across the south and even up through part of the north, it is hot. Now, maybe I'm just getting old, which is a given, but yeah, it feels hotter to me these last couple of weeks than we've had in several summers. So, yeah, so just get that right out of the way right to begin with, because I know here in a few months, I was thinking this morning, it's 4 months till Christmas. Do y'all realize that? 4 months. Are you ready? And then we'll be complaining about it's cold. But for now, yes, it is hot. As you can tell, the lighting in here looks really strange. I don't have one of those, I don't even know what you call them, the round lights that a lot of people use for their like studio production videos. I don't have one of those. Might need to get one, but I don't have one right now. And I'm pretty much sitting in here in my dark living room because I have the shades, as you can see back here behind me, I've got the shades pulled down because that helps keep part of the heat out. And anything that we can do to help with the electric bill is a good thing. So I've got the blinds pulled down, so the light's a little off on this video today, so it's not your eyes, it's not whatever you're watching this on, it's just me and the way I'm recording this. So that being said, that hopefully explains that. But as far as the weather is concerned, I know that there are a lot of folks out there that are truly in need and suffering right now. Some because they don't have a way to cool their homes, some because they maybe don't have the proper hydration that they need. Think of these folks that are out working in this. If you're a roofer, if you do road construction, if you are a farmer, a rancher, anybody that works out in this weather right now, please keep those folks in your prayers, because this is, I know, they're used to it. You can't get used to these feel-like temperatures of, I think I've seen somewhere in Missouri, which this place that I'm thinking of, can't remember the name right this second, but it's not that far from us, and they had a feel-like temperature the other day of 130. Sorry, that, I don't care who you are or how you used to things you are, that's hot. So please keep anybody in your prayers that have to be out in this working and don't have a choice. Particularly firefighters that are responding to these wildfires that are just breaking out all over. Yesterday, and I think it's still continuing, the last time I looked, it was like had almost doubled in size since yesterday when I looked this morning in size, and that is in Jasper, Texas, where they had a wildfire break out there, and anybody that's familiar with that area knows that a lot of that is pine forest, and those pines, when they go up, boy, do they go up. And the firemen there I was watching videos that my brother-in-law had shared on Facebook, and the wildfires, these firemen are in the center of what is just a firestorm of, this house is surrounded by all of these trees, and I mean, we're talking massive trees. It's not, 50-foot trees. We're talking 100-foot trees or taller. They are massive trees. And the fires, I don't know if you've ever seen a wildfire, but wildfire creates its own climate, and it will create a tornado effect, and you'll have fire-nados, and that's not just, some crazy word for like a movie or something. It literally looks like tornadoes, but it's fire. But these firemen were in the center of this fire that's all around them, and there was a clearing, and there was a house there, and these firemen are just, I mean, they're not excited, they're not running around all crazy and acting goofy or nothing. They are battling this fire. They're throwing wet stuff on the red stuff, and they're doing their job, just calm and doing their job. Now, does that mean that they weren't scared? I don't know about you, but I don't care, what type of training that I would have. I think there would come a time you'd have that feeling in your gut of, this is not good. But thankfully, they got out of there okay, and they saved the house. So kudos. I believe it was, I think it was Pineville Fire Department. Now, a lot of people don't know this about firemen. I don't know the statistics. I didn't look them up before I started talking, because as I said, I had no particular topic in mind when I started this. But forgive me that I don't have those statistics in front of me. But I am pretty sure, and somebody can jump in the comments below and let me know if you know the answer to this, and my little sister or my brother-in-law may know the answer to this, because you know what? They're firemen. Firefighters, I guess. And also, my niece is a trained firefighter. So, got firefighters in the family, got law enforcement in the family. You think there's not some of that sibling rivalry that goes on there? But as far as the statistics of how many paid, full-time paid firemen, firefighters, I'm sorry, I keep saying firemen, that's just in my mind, as opposed to volunteer. Again, I don't know the statistics. I would be willing to bet that there are far more volunteer firemen that exist over paid firemen. And nothing against any paid firemen. Guys, I love y'all. Y'all do a job I wouldn't do. I've been shot at, and I've been in places where there's been fire everywhere. I'll take the getting shot at any day. So do I admire firefighters? You bet. Love you guys. Won't tell you that all the time because, hey, can't go easy on you. But volunteer firefighters, think about this. Even if you get paid, you're doing a job that so few people will do. But volunteer firefighters are doing a job that very few people will do. They get no pay. A lot of times they're buying their gear. They have to take time off from their full-time jobs to go to training. They have to take off time sometimes to go to fires. They may have worked all day or all night, then responded to a fire, fought that fire for hours or days, and then turned around and went back to their full-time regular job. That's the type of people that are volunteer firefighters. Love you guys, because, and not just saying that because I have relatives that are firefighters, not at all. I have been in too many situations where the volunteers will jump right in there to help. Even as a street cop, I have had volunteer firemen roll up and immediately start helping direct traffic at wreck scenes and, you know, just helping pull up and ask, is there something I can do? Because that's their heart. They have a heart to help people. And so, love you guys. Thank you for everything that you do. All right. So, a lot of wildfires breaking out, and not only that, but you know, the tropics are starting to really get active. We are looking that there may be quite a few tropical storms, hurricanes, things that may be affecting our shores before long. But don't forget, we just had one that rolled through California, and we just had one rolled across Southwest Texas. So, you know, we've already got stuff happening. So just be prepared that there may be more coming. And now, I hate to say it, but that may be the only thing is if we can get a powerful enough disturbance come up across the center of the U.S., may push this heat dome out. That, you know, that high pressure dome that's just been settled over the center of the country, and it's just making that jet stream just, you know, go way up into Canada, and is keeping the center of the country just this oven. It's like we're living in Mordor or something. It's like, would somebody please throw that dang ring in the fire and let's get this over with? But you know, there's just this big high pressure that has just settled there, and it is not moving. Hopefully, they're forecasting it that by Sunday for us, I don't know about anywhere else, but I know for us, there's that pressure's supposed to be moving a little bit and maybe allowing some cooler air to come down for just a few days before it heats back up again. I'll take any of the cool air right now. As much as I am not a huge winter snow person, I would take some cool weather right now. And speaking of which, I don't know if any of y'all, and I don't know this man from Adam, other than I do watch him, and he's got a channel called Ryan Hall Y'all, and that's the name of it, Ryan Hall Y'all. And he does he has a weather channel on YouTube, and he gives excellent explanations of what's going on weather-wise. So he the other day put one on about this heat dome and explained it so even I could understand it. So if you are looking for somebody that gives accurate and very detailed, and I don't mean detailed, and I'm going to use great big giant words that nobody will understand what I'm talking about. He gives details where all of us can understand it. We don't have to be a meteorologist to understand what he's talking about. So Ryan Hall Y'all, if you have not watched him and you want good, accurate weather information, you might tune in to him. Okay, enough for the advertising. I do not get paid. Like I said, I don't even know Ryan Hall. He would not have a clue who I am. It's just, I like him. And speaking of weather events and fires and that sort of thing, you know, the devastation that occurred in Hawaii, you know, there's so many times that things like that happen, and it's just, boom, there it is, you know, we've got to react to this. And I know that I have said this before about being prepared. Now, those people there in Hawaii they would not have had time, and didn't have time to do much of anything other than run. And as fast as that fire was traveling, you know, that's impossible for some people. And run where? So, you know, that situation there was one that is very concerning, because are you prepared for that type of level of destruction, how would you react? But just like the wildfires in Jasper, Texas yesterday, they started evacuations, and because the fire was traveling so fast and so, it was so hot, and so they started evacuations. And then you've got hurricanes are kind of one of these animals that you know ahead of time that they're coming. Usually you may not know exactly where landfall is going to take place, but pretty much you know ahead of time that your area may be in danger. However, you still have to be prepared for it. Flash flooding, tornadoes, even earthquakes. We've been having some weird earthquakes lately, not here, but in parts of the country that's like, didn't know they had a fault zone there, but okay. But any type of an event that could drive you from your home, are you prepared for that? Now, like I said, I have talked before about we all need to be prepared. If we need to get out and get away or whatever, we need to be prepared. But you don't have to start. There's some of these things that I've listened to and read where, yes, do you need to be prepared? Yes. Do you need to start out with enough equipment that you need a mule and 2 Sherpas to carry it all? No. Because really, if nothing else, the important thing to remember is to start. And that means, first of all, a little backpack or little carry bag or something that you can sling over your shoulder for every member of the family, not just the adults. Unless a child is an infant, a child can carry a little bitty backpack, because tell you what, you're not trying to carry the whole house with you. All you really need in a very basic, now you can always carry a whole bunch of stuff, but think of it this way: what if you couldn't throw everything in your vehicle and leave? What if you had to leave on foot? Are you able to carry everything that's in your bug out bag or go bag or whatever you want to call it? You've got to be able to carry that and carry it quite a distance just in case. So you need to remember that weight is a huge factor. So what should you put in your very basic bag that even your child could carry their own little bag? Well, first of all, you don't need, and I say you don't need, you may eventually need, but for one of these bags that is just, I've got to go now, and if I don't have my vehicle, what do I want in this bag? At least have 1 change of clothes. And this bag is not something you're just going to pack and never look at again. You need to know what's in that bag, and it needs to change with the seasons. Do you have warm clothing? You need a change of warm clothing if it's wintertime. You need a change of cool clothing if it's summertime. I would say you need something for protective cover for your head, some type of a hat or something like that. And you need, if you take medications, you need at least 3 days medication. And I say 3 because hopefully within 3 days you're somewhere and things are stabilizing enough that you can replace your medications. But at least 3 days of your medications, a charger for your phone. Now, you initially may not be somewhere that you have access to charge your phone, but again, hopefully you're getting somewhere that you can, and you need a way to charge your phone. So a phone charger, and make sure that you have something lightweight to carry to eat. Now, that lightweight could be protein bars, it could be some type of dehydrated food, something that you are going to eat. If you like beef jerky, throw some beef jerky in there. Think of these folks that travel across the Appalachian Trail. Think of how they pack their food. What type of food did they pack? So it's some type of lightweight food that maybe 2 to 3 days worth of food, and pack high calorie food. And don't think, oh, I'm watching my figure. Forget your figure. You are going to be burning those calories, or if you are having to move and get out of somewhere and get to safety, you're going to need the calories. So if it's peanut butter crackers or, anything, remember protein sources and things that are lightweight. Don't try to carry a bunch of cans of stuff and that sort of thing. And try to think ahead of what are you going to drink. Now, water, toting water, remember, a gallon of water is what, 8 pounds? So you don't want a gallon of water in everybody's backpack. You want to be able to get where you're going. So you may need a life straw or something like that just to get you by until you can get somewhere. Now here's something that I'm going old school on this just because I'm old, but write down phone numbers. Don't just count on your phone. Oh, my phone's got all my numbers in it. What if you can't charge your phone? What if you need to know a number? Do you remember everybody's numbers? Used to, we remembered a lot of folks' numbers, and I just dial this number. Not anymore. I don't know about y'all, but I don't remember anybody's number. The only person's number that I remember is my husband's, and that's just because I call him more. But write phone numbers down of people that you would want to call. Another thing is, if you are on medications, write down what medications you are taking, the dosages, and the phone number of your pharmacy and the phone number of your doctor. Also an emergency contact. Have all of that in writing. We used to, and I'm sure they still have them, I just hadn't seen one in a while, but there used to be these address books that you wrote down names and phone numbers, people you liked, and a few that you didn't, but names and phone numbers in it, and it also had a page in there for medical information, emergency information, and you wrote that down. So you might see if you can find one of those, and if nothing else, just write it on some notebook paper and stick it in your bag. Keep that with you. But that's just something that is to me is important. Just those few things, and those things, all of that together should be light enough. And like I said, even a child could carry their portion of it. So that's just some ideas that sprang up out of nowhere. Let's see, what else? Oh, today on my way home, I was just going to, where I work is like a block from a grocery store, and I thought I'm just going to run in this grocery store because I really would like salad. It's so hot. I really don't want to cook. I think I just want to make us a salad for supper. I've got some leftover chicken in there, some fried chicken. I was just going to make us a fried chicken salad. Well, that was the thought anyway. Well, I get in there and I push the buggy in, and the first thing they have right at the front door is a clearance buggy. Me, I always stop at the clearance buggies because sometimes you can find some really good deals in there. Wow, did I not find any good deals in there. It was like, no, because everything I picked up was like these exorbitant prices, and it was like, no. So I passed that on by, and I went over, sorry, fixing my shirt, I can see it looks all wonky. Went over to the produce department and started walking through the produce. Well, the first thing I noticed was bananas, 79 cents. Well, I had planned on maybe making a banana pudding this weekend, but at 79 cents a pound for the bananas, I guess I'm just a cheapskate, but it was kind of like, no, we'll eat something else. So I passed that on by and got over, started looking at vegetables, and I'm thinking, wow, this stuff's a little high. And I get over to the lettuce, and for the little heads of lettuce, $3 a piece. $3 a piece. Now, let me know in the comments what lettuce is where you're at. It's too hot here. I know some of you are probably thinking, you've got a garden, grow your own lettuce. You can't, I can't, maybe somebody can. I can't grow lettuce in this heat. It will bolt in a heartbeat. So I have no lettuce. But I'm not going to pay $3 a head for a head of lettuce. I like salad. I don't like salad that much. So, you know, I'll chew on an ice cube if I need something cool. I'm just not paying $3 for a head of lettuce. So I passed that on by. But now I'm committed because I'm already in there, and I'm going to see if there's anything else that I might be able to use. So I keep walking, and I'll walk down through the lunch meat section, and it's like, oh, nope. And I passed by this little special frozen bin that they had there that had leg quarters. Now, what was the name of that movie? Was it Encino Man? Was it Brandon Fraser or something, where they dig him up, you know, and he's frozen in this block of ice? I'm telling you, that fella's frozen that block of ice had less ice on him than these bags of chicken legs that they had in there. These leg quarters had there was more ice in these bags than there was chicken. And it was, I think, right at $9 for these 10 pounds of chicken legs with the 20 pounds of ice that went with them. And I'm sorry, I'm not paying $10 for that kind of quality for chicken. I mean, these chickens that's running around out here in the yard, them girls better keep laying, because they fixing to find their way to a pot. So so I passed them on by. It's like, oh, you know, no. When I kept looking at meats, and nothing was marked down. There was no clearance, anything. I'm sure if there had been, somebody had probably done snatched it up. But the prices on the meats, I guess because we just raise most of our own meats and stuff, that it's probably not unusual to most, excuse me, got the hiccups, to most people. But for me, looking around in there, it was like, excuse me, it was like, oh, mercy, no. And I get over, because I was thinking, well, you know, okay, I'll get a roasting chicken, and I'm going to do, has been a thought of mine for a while, if I'm going to get a roasting chicken, and I'm going to cook it and show y'all how you can make 5 nights worth of meals out of that one chicken. That was the thought. Well, number one, there was not a roasting chicken in the place. Now, the reason I was looking for theirs is because I've got chickens here in the freezer, but we don't butcher ours once they get great big. We butcher ours when they're still small. And can you hear my chicks in the background? I do have some very small ones in here, but we don't mess with those. Those are too cute. But, so I was looking for a roasting chicken. There wasn't a roasting chicken in the store. I don't know. I guess there's a shortage of big chickens. I don't know. But then I found they were called what was it called? Fresh young chickens. And these were, you know, packaged chickens. And it's like, well, those are more frying chickens, you know, the small ones. And I looked at those, and I had to lean in and look again, because it's like, are you kidding me? These look like Cornish hens. They was about this big, just little. And $9 for a little old bitty chicken that you might get 2 meals out of. So it was like, I don't think so. No. Y'all will have to wait for a video when when we have an extra rooster or something running around out here that it's time for him to get introduced to the oven. But yeah, that's so. Anyway, I kept pushing my buggy. And I pushed my buggy all the way through the store, looking at this and looking at that, till I decided there wasn't a thing in there that I needed. So I know some people hate to do that, hate to go into a store and then not buy anything because they feel guilty. Are they going to think I'm shoplifting? Girl, I'm telling you, it don't bother me. I slung my purse back over my arm, I pushed my buggy back out front, and I walked out because it's like, I am not paying these kind of prices. So then, if I have to go out that way anyway, so on my way home, I swing by the Benton Dent. It's if you've watched any of my grocery hauls, you've always hear me talk about them and show what I bought there. I didn't do that today. Most of what I got today was stuff I've got there before. So I didn't make a video about the grocery haul today, but I swung out there, and I'm telling you what, everybody who was not at the regular grocery store, because there wasn't very many people in there, they were all at the Benton Dent. So this little Mennonite store, word has got out that they've got, good prices. And I'm telling you, first of all, the parking lot, I just happened to luck into like the last parking space. And then I got in there and it was like standing room only. It was packed in there. It took me longer to get down their few little aisles just because everybody was scouring. And I don't mean they were just looking and getting, no, they were looking at everything on those shelves. And so it took me, seemed like forever to get through that store, but thankfully, the people in there are so sweet, and I always visit with the employees in there, and because they're just the sweetest. And anyway, I ended up getting out of there. It cost me a little, I think it was $54 and some change, and I got over $200, well, not quite $200, right at $200 worth of groceries for $54. So if you've watched any of my grocery haul videos, you'll see where I break it down of how much I've spent on an item and how much they are in the regular stores and how much I've saved. So that's not an exaggeration when I say I spent $54, and I actually could have not spent that much if I hadn't paid 79 cents for soda water because I was thirsty and hot. And I also, even though I make our own bread, we're kind of spoiled to their bread because their bread is just so good. I love their jalapeno cheese bread. If they've got jalapeno cheese bread in there, the last few times I've been in there, it's been sold out. But the girl was just putting it on the shelf today when I got there. I mean, it was so fresh. The bags were steaming up from the hot loaves that were in them. And she was putting them out on the shelves. And so I got a loaf of it, and I got a loaf of their wheat bread. And the lady that was there, I told her, y'all make the best bread. I said, I make bread at home, but actually we prefer yours because yours is so much better. I said, because it's soft. I said, my husband doesn't even like sandwiches out of my bread because he says my bread's too hard. He likes your soft bread. And she laughed. She said, well, thank you. And then this is why you should talk to people that work in particular areas of any stores, because sometimes you can get these little grains of knowledge that you might have missed if you didn't. But I said, I don't know what you do, but your bread is so soft. And she said, what kind of flour do you use? And I told her, well, honey, either it's usually the cheapest brand of flour that I can get, or if I can find some of y'all's flour, because I grabbed some white lily while I was in there, white lily flour. I said, if it's some of y'all's back there on the shelf, I'll grab whatever y'all have back there. And she smiled. She said, well, she said, I'm not going to tell you that's what it is. She said, but it could be the flour. And I said, well, what kind of flour do you use? And she pointed out they sell stuff in bulk. And they've got like a 50-pound bag back there that I'm probably going to get at some point of high gluten flour. Now, if you're trying to eat gluten-free, of course, that wouldn't work for you. But it's high gluten flour. And she said that high gluten flour makes a softer bread. She said that may be your problem. And just super sweet. She didn't want to sound too pushy or anything, and she didn't. And thankfully, she told me that's her secret. And so I will probably start looking for high gluten flour to see if that makes the difference, because if it does, I'll certainly be making more of our own bread that maybe my husband will eat in a sandwich. Don't know. We'll see. But yeah, engage people in conversations when you're in places, because there's so much you can learn from them. Your produce manager, if you shop at a certain store and you run into the produce manager, your meat department fellas, even sometimes the ladies, I say ladies, I'm sorry, I'm so stuck with gender, I guess, but whoever's working the cash registers, sometimes they know that there's something, if you're looking for something, there may be something else that's on sale, or you couldn't find something and well, have you tried this? As a matter of fact, today at the Benton Dent, I had bought a pack, it was a 100-pack of canning lids. And I bought them, and as I was unloading my stuff, the lady, sweet lady, love her, as she's looking and, scanning stuff and checking me out, she looked at the lids and she said, have you tried those Superb lids that's back there? And I said, I have not. She said, well, we have some lids back there. She said, I tried them, and that's all I'll can with now. And this is a Mennonite lady that's, I'm really not sure exactly. She told me one day how old she is, in her 70s. And she's been canning for a long time, does lots of canning. And she said, I will not buy another ball jar lid. She said, and I won't either, because mine have not been sealing that I have used. So I'm not getting any more. Sorry, I like ball jars, but I won't use any more ball lids. They don't seal as good anymore. But the Superb, she was telling me that the Superb brand has the thick gasket around the edge of those lids, and she said, try those. She said, they are so good. And I told her, well, thank you for telling me, because I'll be back and I'll get some. And so I will go back in there. And I think they were selling them, if I'm not mistaken, they were kind of high, but really not for what you get in the little cardboard boxes, that other brands are selling that are higher than a cat's back, and they're not any good. These were, I don't know, 500,000, something like that, and a big long sleeve of them. And I think they were like $87. But, 1,000 lids will go a long ways. So, not sure that's how many was in that sleeve, but next time I'm in there, I'll check it out and probably get some, because lids are something you can't can without the lids. So I'll probably go in there and get some. And that reminds me, something I've been meaning to tell y'all in videos. If any of you are, I know I hear people all the time talking about, I want to learn how to can, I want to learn how to make my own bread. Well, quit talking about it and go do it. And if it's because, well, this stuff's so expensive, if I go to buy a canner, it's just so high. Don't go buy a new canner. Look on Marketplace, look on Craigslist, because I'll tell you why. back during the going on, the original, now we're in, like 10.0 of that now, but back when the original was happening, of course, when everybody was locked up at the house for so long, everybody became a canner or a baker or a candlestick maker, and now you can get on one of these selling sites, and you can find canners for next to nothing, for a fraction of what they were new. You can find baking equipment for next to nothing, because everybody decided they wanted to do this, and then a bunch of people decided, that's a lot of work, and they quit. So if you are wanting to expand your repertoire skills and you want to become a canner or whatever, look online first for used equipment, because like I said, and I've been looking, because there is a lot of brand new equipment that people probably hadn't run 2 batches through their canners that are now getting rid of their stuff because they don't want to deal with it. So check that out, and maybe you can come across some good deals. Don't know. Well, there are a lot of things that I need to start getting done here now that I'm at the house, and figuring out what to fix for supper, since I am not making a salad. Though, I might, y'all ever ate tomato salad? The kind where you chop up tomatoes and you salt and pepper them, and then you might put a little bit of mayonnaise in with them. And some people just eat that with crackers, or they may put crackers in it. But, I may just cut up some tomatoes. I've got tomatoes coming out of our ears here, but I've got to get supper made, something. I'm not sure what yet, but gonna make something for supper. And then I have got a bunch of pears I've got to get put up this weekend, and I know that we're gonna have chores to do outside. I know Sunday it's supposed to start cooling off. I'm looking forward to that. So a lot of the stuff that gets done is going to be indoor stuff, except for very early of a morning when we do the outside things, and then not even very late in the evening do we do much outside. I mean, things get fed, but much else than that, it's far too hot for us to spend a lot of time outside doing chores right now. But with the cooler days coming up, we're looking forward to it, because we can get back out and get some things done. Well, that is enough of me yammering in your ears, so I am going to be quiet. I'm going to get off of here and get busy, and I want to wish you a good afternoon. Love y'all. Hope you have a wonderful evening. Mountain Patriot Homestead, signing out.